Hi everyone, welcome back to Live Darts. We are here in Sindlefing and we've got Daz with us, Glen Durrant. Glen, I know you were so disappointed on social media about Friday. How does it feel now? Is it sunken in? Have you reflected at all?
No, I'm extremely disappointed, but that's part of my DNA. I wish I was a better loser, but the top of the draw really opened up. I couldn't believe my luck when James Wade pulled out, and I knew that the game with Ryan was so big. I didn't come out the traps too good. Missed start to double 16 in the first leg, and then it just 112, 120, 119, 84. And it was tough it's a tough defeat to take because I knew what the implications were. I think it's no secret that I'm desperate for the match play and the European Championships. It would have put me in good position for. So, no, I'm still disappointed, but I've stayed round. I want to just have a little look at how the weekend and that goes, and I'm glad I did that really.
Was that extra pressure knowing that James had pulled out before you even thrown a dart?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I knew what the game was all about, and if anything, it motivated me more. It was just fair play to Ryan. It was really good finishing, and in the end, that was the deciding factor.
You touched on the match play there. As it stands, you are sat in a very good position after this weekend with 7 more events to go.
Yeah.
It's going to take an awful meltdown for you not to go to Blackpool. I know you won't say that until it's mathematically certain, but as it stands, you're going to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
Well, Mac Elkin used the word meltdown earlier, and he set me a target this week to win the European Qualifiers next week in Zwolle and Copenhagen. The only negative I've got right now is that I'm not producing in Europe what I'm doing in England, and even in my BDO career, my good darts were in England, and that's my conundrum right now. I've come on my own again. Is it time to try and bring my wife with me and travel? I've been talking to Keegan Brown's missus today. Do I bring Dennis, who's travelled with me sort of for the past decade and that? So that's the only disappointment so far in my PDC career, but I've got to look at the positives. I'm in great position. I'm already in Ali Pali. Fantastic position for the Grand Prix. Match play, arguably, I'm a couple of grand from guarantee and that. So, in hindsight, I've got to be. But you're catching me 2 days after a real big disappointment. But life's good. I've never been so happy. It's the PDC's been a terrific challenge for me, and I'm so excited for the future.
You touched on the travel arrangements there. That's actually on my list here to talk to you about, because obviously I've known you for a good 5 years now, and Dennis has been everywhere with you. So that change in routine, has that thrown you slightly?
He's not Mr. Barnsley, he's not Mr. Wigan, but he works. Is the simple fact, and if you have a look at my wins over the year, Susan's always been there because she's very level-headed. Nothing really phases her. If I'm the bit of a worrier, which Mac and Dennis will probably tell you that I'm playing so and so, and they're like, well, what are you worried about that for? You're the BDO world champion, etc., etc. So I am missing Dennis and missing Susan, and but I've got to learn to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm in a great team. I was absolutely elated when I seen Corey at the airport. Just to see him, I thought would really lift me. And when I saw him, I genuinely thought I was going to go on and win it this weekend. That was the mentality. My practice had been great. But you've got to take the highs and the lows, and that's what I'm learning.
Obviously, since you've moved over, the PDC it's the ultimate. Are the highs higher? And are the lows lower than from when you're in the BDO because of what you're playing for?
That's a superb question, but my answer to that is when you have the lows like I've got right now, it's Barnsley next week. It's a Pro Tour qualifier, so you don't have the time. When I lost the World Masters to Adam Smith-Neil, I was devastated, and I had 3 months to stew on it because there was no competition in between that. The beauty of the PDC is that when you lose, there's a competition around the corner. So hopefully, this disappointment will soon be disregarded when I'm at Barnsley next week.
So we're 5 months into your PDC career. What's the biggest thing you've learnt so far?
The quality, preparation, the professionalism of the PDC is immense. Every single dartboard's the same. I've not missed the Welsh Open this weekend. I've not missed Isle of Man. I'm hitting 100 averages and losing is probably the answer to that question there. The quality is pretty much immense, and if you take Michael van Gerwen out the equation, then number 128 can beat number 2. I've learnt that Michael is he is a step above the rest of us, and he's absolute quality to watch him. I've been watching him practice today, and incredibly, he practices for 2 or 3 hours without sitting down. You know, I'm a 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off kind of guy, and I was watching Michael today, and you know, he's pretty much been on the board since he went on, and then he goes and does another 100 average like he does. So I saw the quality. 100 average is not necessarily going to win you the game.
We know Phil Taylor's always been your darting hero.
Yeah.
But is Michael the best player you've ever seen play?
Oh no, Phil's still the best player I've ever seen, and there's been a fantastic thing on Twitter about the greatest players ever. I forget what the Twitter name was there, and I voted for Phil Taylor because I just think in his heyday he had the nous, the match play around it. I think Michael can do it in spurts like nobody's ever done before. But for me, I'll always say Phil Taylor.
So as we're sat here, you're currently 70 on the order of merit. That top 64 is looming rather quickly.
Yeah.
I know that was one of your aims.
Yeah.
Are the things you've done in the first 5 months been ahead of your targets, what you set yourself personally?
Oh God, yeah. I never thought I'd be sat here winning a Pro Tour title. You know, I always said, and even when I met a lot of managers before I signed with Mac, you know, they were signing me for year 2. Year 1 was about consolidation. So if I can play the match play and, you know, all them other competitions, Ali Pali ordered me in. But a lot of the, you know, it was about year 2 for me. It was about just getting in, learning, consolidating, getting some money on the rankings, etc. So yeah, I've totally exceeded where I want to be. But I've had some disappointments too. There's tournaments I think I could have won. I've done a couple of exhibitions in between Pro Tours, which was terrible decision. So as much as there's been some big highs, there's been some incredible lows as well.
Again, as long as you qualify for these TV tournaments, obviously that's bonus money, as we call it, for your ranking, because you weren't expected to be there. Realistically, how soon can you break that top 32?
What I've learnt again about the PDCs is such an emphasis on the PDC. So if I look at my good friend Ryan Joyce, he earned 50 grand at Ali Pali this year. That's 5 Pro Tour wins. That's 2 European wins. You know, so a lot of it could depend on how well I do at the Ali Pali, because there's a big emphasis on the money that you win there. But look, if I can get the match play, the Grand Prix, etc., I've worked. It's about 50 grand. You know, and that'll suddenly put me in the top 64 then, and then. With the way the rankings are over 2 years, then obviously year 2 my plan will be to get in the top 32.
You've won a Pro Tour. Right now, is your game in a good enough position to win one of these televised titles this year, do you believe?
Oh no, I don't think necessarily I'm thinking about that. I can average with the best. I can, but if I thought, am I going to win Ali Pali or Matchplay Grand Prix? I just want to do something really respectful, you know, a final, a semi-final, you know, but my game's in a great place. I've got some exciting changes coming up in the next few weeks as well, so it's going to be all brand new for me, BDO to PDC, not working to being a full-time darts player. I'm going to be using new shirts, new darts, etc. You know, there's plenty of news coming out over the next few weeks for me, and it's a whole brand new change for me. Am I going to win a TV title this year? If I'd be lying if I said it's on my agenda. I just want to go and get people's respect first of all. You know, that guy, when you win the Lakeside, you don't get the respect I believe you deserve. You know, and some of the things on Twitter that you read, etc. It's not fair. So I'm just trying to gain people's respect.
I think you're doing yourself a little bit of justice. I think you've already gained people's respect for what you've already done in a short space of time in the PDC, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because when you come over, everyone was like, you won't win a tour card.
Yeah.
Then you won it, everyone was like, oh, you won't compete.
Yeah.
You got to a final.
Yeah.
You won't win one. You've won one. So I think you've already ticked those boxes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think you're reading my notes here, the rebrand. A lot of people ask us on social media, how come you've ditched the beloved Borough red for the blue and the white now?
Yeah, and that's cost me a couple of results. I mean, I'm so proud to wear that red and white shirt, but I went to UK Open and quite simply the PDC said, you told me you weren't wearing that shirt again. It's Middlesbrough colours, it's football colours, and part of me is like, the BDO's gone now. I've got to banish that red and white shirt as much as I loved it. The Adrian Lewis walk-on, the red and white shirt, that was synonymous to my BDO career. And now it's about a little bit about me and my PDC career, and there's some exciting changes coming up in the next few weeks, and it's all good. It's all really positive, and hopefully it's that next 5% I need, because the BDO champion would not be a PDC champion. I'm trying to find the extra 5 to 10% to challenge the Peter Wrights, the Michael Van Gerwins, the Daryl Gurneys, and that. But the game's there. The game's there.
One thing that was asked the other day, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but heading towards the Grand Slam, you'll still be the Lakeside champion of the world. Do you get that qualifying place that the BDO World Champion has always got? Or now you've moved over, will they not give it to you, or do you not know the answer to that?
Phil, I always give you an honest answer. And 2 weeks ago, I emailed Paula and Des, and I asked the question. I love the BDO. You know, they made me exactly, and they let me achieve all my dreams. I've never said a bad word against the BDO. I never will. I'm super proud. So I sent the message because I'm trying to work my calendar out. You know, am I in the Grand Slam as the BDO champion? And I haven't had a response from Des yet. Now I know it's a busy time with what's going on, etc. So the honest answer is, and I always give the honest answers, I don't know. But what I will tell you is if I go there as BDO champion, I don't think I get the ranking points for the PDC. So there'll be a question there whether or not. I mean, I'm in the Grand Slam as a PDC player right now because of winning a Pro Tour, but I'm the last player to qualify. So if anyone wins a European Tour, World Matchplay, Pro Tour who's not already qualified, then I'll be, defunct. Then I'll be out of the equation type thing. So the honest answer to that question is I don't know.
I'm going to play devil's advocate because of something you said. To do with the ranking money, if you were to be offered a place as BDO World Champion, would you still potentially go to the qualifiers and try and qualify as a PDC player because of that ranking, or would you just take the TV experience and go as the champ?
Well, someone said, do you need $5 grand, Glenn? That was the sort of question put to me. To finish last or third in the Grand Slam, you get about $5 grand. So that was the sort of the question for me there. I don't know that answer. Genuinely, since winning Lakeside, it's been pretty crazy. The Premier League, etc., all coming just a little bit too early for me, in my opinion. And I don't know. How do you turn down the Grand Slam? That would be pretty tough. For me, it's behind Lakeside. It's the best tournament I've played in. So I don't know that answer right now.
Glenn, thank you very much for taking time out to speak to us here at Live Darts. As always, appreciate your time and your honesty. It's an absolute pleasure as always, mate. Thank you very much as always.
Top man. Thank you.